This video is part of Lesson 2 in the course Teaching God's Way. In this video, how can I offer the teaching that my church needs?
How can I offer the teaching my church needs? And I'm not going to give you just one answer to that question, but we will ask 3 smaller questions, and when you answer those, you will find what your church needs in terms of teaching. The 3 questions are: what do people need to learn? Secondly, how do I approach my teaching? And thirdly, who will teach in the church? So what, how, and who. In our churches, we want to teach Bible truths, but we don't teach everything and everything at the same time and everything to all the people. So for effective teaching, we need to ask ourselves, what do people need to learn? What are their questions? Where are they weak? Certain areas, certain topics? Are they feeling challenged in their place of living by their environment? The questions people are asking on the streets or in college or in school. What will be their purpose to come to a class? What do they actually want to achieve by coming? Now, the ideal is that people, then specifically believers, are aware of their needs, what they need to learn, and sometimes we just need to make them aware of what they need. You challenge them. Once you become clear on what they want and need to learn, you can think of teaching that fills that gap. Then people are motivated to learn. So check people's interest and motivation. For example, in my own neighborhood, with the church I attend, one day a lady passed the church and she said, "What are you actually teaching in church? What is the faith all about? What do you do in church?" And I realized we did not have a class for seekers, for people curious and new to the Christian faith. I needed to introduce her to the faith from the start. I realized some people know very little. They've never decided not to be a Christian. They simply don't know what it means to be a Christian. They need to learn the first basics of what Christianity is about, how the Bible is put together, and what it means to live as a Christian. So this person wanted to learn the first things about Christianity. And I could not take her to an existing program because all these programs assumed that you knew already so much about Christianity, about Jesus. So I had to start a new class to answer this need of this specific person. The second question is, how do I approach my teaching? It helps when people come to class motivated, but still, how do I come to class? That's what I mean with approach. You think it through beforehand, both what you are going to say and how you are going to present it. Now, this last part, how you're going to present it, we easily forget. Sometimes we are busy, we just take a book or we open our Bibles and we think we are ready because we know in our heads what we are going to say. Or you have taught the class 10 times over and you just grab the notes from the last time. But when you want to be serious about offering the teaching that your church needs, you need to pause beforehand, to reflect. How am I doing? Am I right with God, with the people that I meet? Am I at peace? Or why am I so hurried? Why am I stressed out? Is it the topic, or are there other circumstances in my life that make me tired? And speak about it with the Lord. Speak with the Lord about your subject, about the class, the people that you're going to meet. And positively ask yourselves, what makes me excited about this topic? Why is my heart beating faster when I think about these things? Now, this part of the preparation is with me, the teacher. You prepare what to teach and how to present it. So you also think about the learner. What will be the number one question people have in their minds? Are there obstacles for them to grasp and apply what I'm going to say? Is the problem mostly in their head, intellectually? Or is it mostly in their heart? Are they believers or not believers? Are they struggling? Are they in sin? Or do they actually understand and accept what you are saying, but simply fail the skills to put into practice what you teach them? So reflect on these things beforehand. So in the class of seekers that I mentioned, we decided to start with a meal so people would feel comfortable and at home. We said we will have short presentations, not too much information at once, and have time for discussion so people could all get involved and speak their minds. We added a number of mature believers to the group, people who were willing and able to share from their own testimony what it means to follow Jesus. And so we created a small community of existing believers and those who were seeking and interested, and they all shared together and felt at home in this course. So we chose this approach specifically for the goal that we had in mind. Not just to share information, but also to feel comfortable with other believers, because that's part of our Christian faith. So we talked about what people need, how to approach it, and we also ask who is going to teach in my church. Perhaps you assume that you are the teacher, you have to do all the teaching, but sometimes the church is better off with other teachers, suitable teachers. Paul, a great teacher himself, said to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2 verse 2, "And what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also." So Paul says, you have learned and you are instructed to teach. Now in turn, also instruct others again to continue the teaching. And so we reach more people and meet more teaching needs. So your church needs those various people to assist in the teaching. Look for faithful people with a stable character who understand the basics of our faith. Those who are gifted to speak and communicate, who relate well to others. Often you select people who are gifted and connected to the specific group you want to teach. For example, children or college students, women, couples. You find people gifted and well connected to these people to teach them. They are in the right position to speak about these topics. So how do I offer the teaching my church needs? I find out what people need to learn. What is their interest, their motivation? I approach my class reflecting on what I'm going to teach and how I'm going to present it. And finally, I'm looking for suitable teachers who can teach these topics, who are gifted and well connected in order to be a teacher in this group.
You have been watching the video, How Can I Offer the Teaching That My Church Needs, in the course Teaching God's Way. We hope to see you again next lesson.